If you're interested, just see me after to sign up. Let's get to work.
Thank you very much. And I did forget to mention that this is U.S. Constitution Day, as well as Citizenship Day. And actually, it's a federal, it's actually a week. But today is the start of that week. So in light of that, I'd like to ask for Charlie Justice to step up and do a brief presentation.
Sure. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you very much for coming out tonight. My name is Charlie Justice. I was born and raised in Pinellas County, grew up here, and the acts of the community, the business of the community, that was the topic at our dinner table every night. And I was the fifth of 5 children, and every one of us has found a niche in public service in one way or another. I've got school teachers in my family, I've got ministers in my family, and I'm the black sheep of the family. I guess I found my way into public service through politics. And I think that campaigns and elections should always be about the future, but if you want to look at between two candidates, you should look at what they've done to know what they'll do in the future. And what I've done, you'll find 5 pages of small print of substance and material, bills and legislation that I've actually worked on in Tallahassee. Some highlights, the My Safe Florida Home, which provided grants and programs to make sure that your homes are hard for hurricanes. I worked with CFO Alex Sink very diligently on that. Passed legislation to improve benefits for school teachers, and voted against Senate Bill 6 this year. And also passed 3 strikes you're out. Those that commit felonious assaults on our seniors, the punishment will be increased against them. I ran for Congress because I want to see a change in direction in our Congress and our country. And we're looking at budget shortfalls nationally and statewide. And to tell you what I've done at the state level to show you how I'll approach the federal office is, I have voted to reduce my salary in the state legislature. The incumbent in Congress has actually voted to raise his salary, calling it the only honest vote. I have slashed my budget. We're given an allotment of state money to run our offices. I actually returned over 1/3 of that budget to the state treasury to fill more pressing needs. Thank you. The salaries and the budgets of the congressional offices are skyrocketing. Have actually gone over $1 million to run their offices now in times when we're shortfall other places. We talk about budget decisions and important priorities. Some of the priorities that I have are different besides some of the ones that I've just mentioned. One of them I want to talk to you about is called the alternative engine, and it is the F-135 fighter plane. The contract was won by Pratt Whitney to build the plane. Normally you'd say, okay, they won the contract, they build the plane, they build the engine. Well, in Washington, they do things a little differently. Pratt Whitney won the contract, but then Congress was, the GE funneled some money over to congressional members on the right committee, and they decided, you know what? We need an alternative engine. So GE, they're going to spend $2.9 billion to build this alternative engine for this plane. Now, people in Washington would tell you, you just don't understand how Washington works. It's very different than how you would do things. But let me relate it to something maybe we could understand. Sheriff Coates decides to spend $500,000 for Ford Crown Victorias, for our cruisers. But you know what? Decides to spend another $300,000 for Chevy to build an engine, just in case the Crown Vic doesn't work. That's crazy, and that's the kind of logic that we're dealing with currently in Washington. I grew up here. I have a wife who's a school teacher, 2 young children. My day job is at the University of South Florida, and my in-laws just this year became eligible for Medicare. So the reason that I'm running is because I've been very proud to have 3 jobs in this community. One, working at USF and the great students there, and I'm worried about the jobs in the future that they have available to them. My children, I want them to have a better future available to them than I had. That's, I think, the goal of every parent. And then to tell you about my in-laws, they spent an entire weekend with consultants to figure out which plan would be right for them, which supplement for the Medicare, going through all of this paperwork. I can guarantee you that you'll have a congressman when you elect me that will never vote to reduce Medicare, and never vote like our incumbent has to do to make it easier to privatize Social Security. I encourage you to go through this material. Take a visit at charliejustice.com. My numbers are all over the materials that you have tonight. I encourage you to give me a call. I'll answer the cell personally, and look forward to working with you to represent you in the United States Congress. Thank you very much for being here tonight.